Hi everyone, it's Nat. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another Happy Home Paradise build. This time we're building a vintage retro manor for Lobo. I just want the best for him. You know, he's a very stylish guy. So this is going to be a very stylish, sleek sort of little manor in the woods. Right now I'm doing the outside and I'm super happy with how it turned out. The outside is actually probably my favorite part. I actually set the weather to fog, and then later it's the inside takes me so long that by the time I get outside it's raining. But I did save the house during the fog, so if you go check it out on Happy Home Paradise online, my code is in the description, so you can go tour this house yourself. Then you'll get it in the fog. But yeah, we're just making a little house for Lobo today. I actually have a couple of builds, some Happy Home Paradise builds that I pre-recorded this past week, and I was thinking about which one I wanted to do, and I ended up picking this one because I went to the thrift store today, and I was in a vintagey mood. I got this really super cool, like weird button-up shirt that's like 2 layers. So like there's a normal layer that has buttons and then there's like a second layer on top of it that sort of looks like an open button-up shirt. I also got this very charming pair of sage green cropped cigarette pants. It's giving very Mary Tyler Moore show. It's giving very Queen's Gambit. I'm quite pleased with my purchases today. I'm so sorry if you can hear the cars. Also, I'm sorry that this video is so late. I literally just changed my schedule and I already can't keep it, but I am gonna upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. This is the schedule. We're keeping it. You know, it's partially procrastination, but also, you know, I had a busy week. I will give myself that. I had a busy week and I did a lot of stuff. I hung out with a lot of friends this week and I saw a lot of people and had a lot of fun. I also haven't played any Animal Crossing for like a day or so because besides hanging out with my friends in real life, I got Pokemon Shining Pearl, and I've been playing Shining Pearl, and it's been super fun. I played a little bit yesterday, and I'll probably play a little bit more tonight. I just got to Floaroma Town, so I'm taking it kind of slow, I guess. I picked Piplup as my starter, and I named him Rolled, but I'm considering renaming him Gunther. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. How has your week been? I hope it's been swell. Have you been enjoying the DLC? Do you have the DLC? Are you as addicted to it as I am? I do really like doing these DLC builds because I feel like I get to like flex my creativity a little bit more than I would with my own island, just because I can explore so many more themes, and also it's so much easier to do. You know, it just gives you all the tools to do a build fast and use all these different pieces of furniture and plants and weeds and all this stuff. But yeah, I just feel like this game mode is very low stakes, high reward, which I appreciate. I get to be as creative as I want to with as little effort as possible. Whereas my own island feels very high risk every time I do something. And if I don't like it, I have to do it all over again, and it's so much. But I also do really want to have content of my own island, obviously, on my channel. So my goal is to post an island build this coming week. Like I said, I wanted to post island builds on Wednesdays and Happy Home Paradise on Saturdays. But if you see more Happy Home Paradise than builds of my own island, that's why, because a build for my own island is taking too long. And I might also start having to split up my own island builds into 2-parters just because it takes me so long. But this Wednesday I'm definitely gonna have my own island. Oh my god, the outside's already done. Okay, briefly about the inside, several things. The inside took me way longer than the outside. It usually does take me longer. Sometimes it takes me like about the same, but usually it'll take me like maybe 20 minutes, half an hour to do the outside, and then an hour to do the inside. This was a similar situation, but it felt like longer because the space was so small, and yet I was struggling with it so much. This furniture right here that you see right here, the little chair and the fan, I end up not using. And the way that I did that, just a pro tip, if your villager has furniture that you don't like, but they need you to use it in the build, then you can hide it outside, like for example behind the house or behind a tree or some other large object, so you can't see it, but it's still technically part of the build, and they will be satisfied with that. So this brown massage chair and this retro fan ended up going outside because I could not find a place where I wanted them to go inside this house, and I struggled with it. I really did. There was one point towards the end of this build where I bring back the chair because I'm like, oh, I could put the chair. No, I can't. I'm sure in a different version of Lobo's vintage house. I actually saw one on Instagram where they took like a different direction in terms of vintage, I guess, where they used all the furniture, and it looks great. In this version that I made, I set myself up for failure because I only used the TV. I was really going off the TV, to be honest, in terms of like items. I was like, this TV is so great. And then I sort of forgot that I have to include other stuff. But I like how it turned out. It's a little cramped, but like I said in my previous build, I always endeavor to make it smaller rather than bigger. And speaking of making things smaller, this kitchen doesn't exist in the final build. We're not doing a kitchen, okay? Animal Crossing villagers have existed for over 20 years with houses that often have no usable furniture in them and no living amenities. They'll live in a single room, often without a bed, without a sink, without anything that you would need to live in a house. And I think that we should continue that proud tradition. So I'm upholding it by continuing to make houses that don't have everything that you need. Because it's what they deserve, you know? They deserve a good-looking house, first of all. I do think Lobo deserves a good-looking house. But I don't think that he necessarily deserves an oven, you know? He'll be fine. He can just order Uber Eats or whatever. He'll live. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I do end up using these vintage stools, but I use them as side tables because I could not get this kitchen to work. It was just too much. Like the living room was so cute, and then having the kitchen like in front of it when I was looking at the build from the front was annoying me so much. I was like, I just have to get rid of it. And I did, and I'm much happier because of it. And Lobo's house is much smaller. It's actually quite small, especially because the inside is so large. It's a little, I don't know. But I am happy with how it came out. I like I kept everything that you see, the wallpaper, the floor, the accent wall. I've been enjoying using like a little bit of an accent wall and covering the rest of it up with the wall panels. I also have not gotten the glow-in-the-dark sticker object yet, which is very annoying. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't been on Instagram looking at builds, Colin Crossing, and you know that's where I got it from. But he and other people have been making fake windows using the glow-in-the-dark sticker and the animated wallpapers, and it's really beautiful. And I'm incredibly jealous that I don't have that object. And, you know, maybe I'll trade with someone to get it, but yeah, when I get that object, I will not... Excuse you? I don't think that the helicopter flying directly above my house understands that I'm trying to record a video right now, and I am, in fact, very late, and I don't have time for helicopter foolishness, okay? I don't have time for all of that. But yeah, I think pretty soon we demolish the kitchen entirely, and I just move on from it, okay? The kitchen was holding me back. And like I said before, make it smaller, okay? Don't make it bigger. Usually it doesn't need to be bigger. Though I will say this house is very tiny, and you do have to scoot to get into the living room, so Lobo technically cannot access it himself. But like I said before, he'll be fine. Like, that's none of my business. He'll live. To be honest, I think when I'm done recording this voiceover, I'm gonna jump right into working on the build for next week. I started building a farm a long time ago on stream, and it went almost nowhere. Partially because building my own island on stream stresses me out immensely, and partially because the update dropped surprisingly in the middle of my first stream, several days before it was actually supposed to. So yeah, my farm hasn't changed much since then. Don't get excited or anything. Nothing really has happened, but that is the build that I am endeavoring to post next week on this channel, and I have some plans for it. I'm seeing some great stuff on Instagram that's really got the brain juice flowing, and I'm very excited for you guys to see what I have come up with. Speaking of you guys, I just checked earlier today and we have hit 150 subscribers, which is absolutely nuts. Thank you all so much for subscribing and for commenting and liking my videos and sharing them. I don't know if you're sharing them or not, but you know, if you are, thanks. Welcome to everyone who's new. Who knows? We might even hit 200 subscribers by the end of the year. My goal is to hit 100 by the end of the year, and I might hit 200. That's crazy to me. Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I hit 200 either. Like, I barely had plans for 100, like let alone 200. So I'm gonna have to think of something. I do have some ideas, but yeah. I spent a long time on this kitchen. Wow. And then it became absolutely nothing. I did keep that bird though. I do love that bird. I had that bird in New Leaf in my reading room, which was very beautiful. Here we are making a bed. I thought about doing like a fake double bed, but there's just not enough space in this house, which I don't mind. I'd rather just have a single bed. You know, Lobo is a bachelor living it up in the woods, his vacation vintage manor, and I love that for him. Here's me and my sad attempt to turn it into a dining room that did not go anywhere. I ended up making the entire room much smaller, and it made me much less stressed about this space. But I feel like I was gonna say this is giving like Hannibal Lecter if he was like a bachelor living alone, but he is a bachelor living alone. That is the plot of the show Hannibal, and this is honestly a little bit what his house looks like. I did build his house in a previous build, a little promo there. There was a little Halloween build last year, a real Halloween video. But you know, it has like the dark colors and the dark wood and everything is like warm and a little old. You know, it has that vibe about it. And later I put him in this just delightful little sweater as well. Very, very vintage, very gentlemanly for him. I know you guys can probably hear some of the background noise, and I apologize for that, but you cannot imagine what I am experiencing. The amount of people who love to just like sit at the light next to my house and rev their engines. Here's another person. It's motorcycles, it's cars, it's everything. It's just everything. Here's my sad attempt to put this fan in this house that goes absolutely nowhere, as we discussed. One thing I will say is I really like how the new vintage set really matches with the ironwood set. It's really nice to have sort of like a, you know, you can mix and match it really well, and the wood colors are similar, and you know, you can sort of make a full like ironwood vintage house if you wanted to. And maybe I will, who knows? I have plans to start renovating my own house once I get the items, collecting all of them slowly but surely. But yeah, let's go over plans for my own island. I want to do my farm so I can finally actually cook. I've been procrastinating on doing it, and now I actually want to cook, and it's very annoying. Why would I do this to myself? We're going to do that. We're going to do my campsite. Very excited for that. I have big plans for my campsite. We're also going to work on my forest area. That's going to be pretty sweet. I have a couple ideas for villager houses. Ooh, and I also unlocked villager house decorating interiors. As I think I mentioned this in my last video, but yes, I did recently unlock that ability, so I have some ideas for my villagers' houses that I'd like to execute. Very excited about that. And of course, in between all of that, we're gonna keep playing the DLC. I can't imagine getting tired of it anytime soon. I have a couple of builds that I've already pre-recorded. I also have builds that are like I'm in the middle of, where like, you know, I start a villager's house because I like their concept, and then I get sleepy and oh, here I am hiding the furniture I don't want to use behind the house. Look at that. You can't see it. Pro tip, hide the furniture if you don't like it. It's just like in The Sims. Speaking of The Sims, that new kit. Okay. If you're in the Sims community, you know the general attitude surrounding kits, and I agree. They are very annoying. This phone, by the way, so cute. I want to use it in a build. My friend used it. She built that frog, Gigi, that frog who's like an old-timey actress. She built her a green room and she put that phone in there, and it's adorable. But it didn't suit his house. He needed the smaller phone. Oh yeah, The Sims 4. The attitude towards kits, I do agree with. They are quite annoying and cash grabby, and a lot of the content in the kits feels like it should be content that's just added because it's lacking in the game. It's like, I understand why we have a kit for like loft stuff. That makes sense to me. But why do we have a kit that's just like Indian fashion or a Korean fashion? It's like, shouldn't you just put that in the base game? Because I don't think that people from India or Korea should have to pay for that, but that's neither here nor there, you know? What we're talking about right now is the plant kit. And I'm not gonna lie, speaking of plants, this shelf, that shelf has really been holding it down. Oh, and also I put this picture. Maybe that's, you know, Lobo's little, I don't know, his lover. I don't know his business. He seems like a complicated guy based on his house. Anyways, the plant. Okay, I don't end up keeping this plant thing in this house because it didn't fit, but we're here to talk about the Sims 4 plant kit. I do really want to try it and possibly build with it, and that is why I wanted to mention I might be putting some Sims 4 content on the channel if you guys are interested in that. I know I've gotten some comments from some Simmers from my previous mentions of the game, and yeah, the content of the DLC in particular is very similar to what I do in The Sims 4, which is just build and nothing else. I do occasionally play, but The Sims 4 really excels as a building and create a sim game. Those two game modes are very fleshed out and wonderful, and then the gameplay is not. But I love a little Sims 4 speed build, and I love building houses, and if you guys are interested, I would absolutely make some Sims 4 content, so let me know. That also brings me into another question for you guys, which is, what games do you like to play outside of Animal Crossing? Are you exclusively an Animal Crossing person? Do you play other Nintendo games? Do you play maybe some PC games? I'm genuinely curious. I know there's some Simmers in the audience. You don't have to tell me how much money you've spent on The Sims. I personally would never reveal that information to any person, especially if I knew what it was. I'm living in blissful ignorance of my own mistakes. But yeah, what do you guys like to play? What do you, if there's a game that you want to play, or like that you watch other people play but that you don't play yourself, you know, I genuinely want to know. I want to know what you guys are up to, especially as our community keeps growing and growing. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a lifelong Pokemon fan, and I am super excited for Legends Arceus to come out. That game looks incredible and so different from what the games have been previously. Once again, the cowskin rug reappears. And you know what? After I did this build and I talked to Lobo, he gave me the rug. Quite pleased. A man of taste. We love to see it. But yeah, have any of you picked up the Diamond and Pearl remakes? Are you enjoying them? Did you play the original games when they came out? Are you old like me? That's the question. Are you old? I think I was like 8 or 9 when those games came out. So that might make some of you feel even older. And for that, I'm not sorry. Okay, we're in this together. If I'm old and you're old, then we're all old together, and it's great. I love that for us. I think we're almost done with the build. Another pro tip, I've said this before, use clothing as furniture, you know. Now we have those beautiful clothing racks and the folded up clothes, which I think is super great, but nothing beats a good sock on the floor, you know. It makes it feel real lived in. It's giving bachelor vibes, absolutely. Lobo also has a lot of books. He's a very well-read wolf. Oh yeah, I also attempted to put a shelf over on this wall, which ended up being fruitless because the entire wall is a shelf. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes my instinct to make things visually more busy, not the best. And then I started to, I was checking to see if it was traversable, which at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Because Lobo can't even get in the living room to begin with, so like, who cares? Oh yeah, I switched up the music, KK Swing, we love it. And I think after this, I shined some things. I always forget to use the shine feature, and then, see, I stopped him. I said, no, Lobo, I'm not ready yet. I have to shine some of your furniture. I think that this, like, sort of loud noise one is really cute. And yeah, I think we're about at the end of the build. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am still planning on streaming this week. I'm gonna stream tomorrow and it's gonna be super fun. Enjoy the video of Lobo. Remember to leave a like if you liked this build, and subscribe if you really liked this build. And hopefully I'll see you all either tomorrow on stream or on Wednesday for my next build. Bye!